Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I thought I'd cast an Age of Empires 2 game because we're getting close to the start of Hidden Cup 4, which I'm super hyped for. So I've been watching the qualifiers for Hidden Cup 4, which you can follow it all on T90's channel on Twitch. And I'm sure other people are streaming it as well, but T90 is hosting it, and he'll have all of the games, all of the information, and all of the memes and all of the fun. One of the great things about Hidden Cup is the clues in the name, really. Once they get to the main event after the qualifiers are finished, which will be starting on the 18th of this month, all of the pros' names are hidden behind like the names of in-game heroes, so nobody knows who they're playing against, and there's lots of like kind of guesswork as to who's who, and also players trying to make other players think that they're a different player by doing certain strategies and things like that, and it's really fun. So yeah, super hyped about that. I'm always kind of watching Age of Empires 2 content, but even more so when there's something like this coming up. I've got the Thursday and the Friday of the working week booked off so that I can watch all of it, and yeah, really looking forward to it. So again, that was on the 18th of March it starts, and yeah, be having a good time. Just get a lot of good food in and just veg out and watch a load of Hidden Cup. It's going to be great. So, like I say, I thought I'd go through some of my old recorded games. This one I think is from October last year, I think. And so in the blue is myself playing as the Byzantines. And then over in the red corner we have, what's the name there? Looks like Blumbers in the red, playing as the Huns. And we're on a arena map again, so this is with the where you start out with the stone walls, which gives you protection early on from any rushes from the enemy. I'm just going to speed up a little bit because the start of these games is quite slow. As you've seen from the previous videos, and if you're all familiar with Age of Empires, you're going to start out by just scouting the map and focusing on starting up your economy. So we're going to focus on collecting food and wood. You see, got some villages on this wood line over here, and then some villagers collecting food here. You see me get housed, so building a house there, increase the population size. And much the same is going on over here, except for quite a few idols there for Blumbers, making a blunder, potentially. Although my early build will almost certainly not be perfect either. So you're sending all of us villagers to berries here, or well, not all, but most of. And then we lure the ball to the mill, which I don't know if that's. I think it's less efficient to take a bar at a mill than it is at a town centre. If you're taking the bar like on the town centre, the villagers can kind of instantly drop off the food, whereas here they have to physically walk to the mill and back. So it's a little bit less efficient. It's not crazy less efficient. And if you see in the map here, in the centre we've got extra gold there, and there's one to the right here. And there's another extra gold just outside his wall there, some stones close to his walls there, and the other extra gold is over here. We got relics dotted across quite a few in this area of the map. Triangle of relics there, and then another what do you say, a parallelogram of relics there. And then another one here between the stone and gold. So see us getting to feudal age there, and with Byzantines I'm going to be looking to make use of their bonus with trash units. So trash units are units that you create using just wood and food, or I suppose there's trash units that you can create with just food as well, but the Byzantine bonus is for the pikeman or spearman line and the skirmisher line. So skirmisher are a counter to archers, and pikemen are a counter to mounted units. So Huns, one of their interesting bonuses is that they don't need to build houses, which we should be able to see if we go over to so his population limit is already at the maximum 200 because he doesn't need to build houses to increase the population limit. So that's one less thing to worry about. And back in the day they used to have Hun wars, where both players would play as Huns, and it just turns into lots of scouts and lots of fun. So he's going for a couple of stables first there. Whereas I've opted to go for barracks and archery range. As you know, as I explained, my strategy to go into the trash units there. Okay. So we've got blacksmith popping up there. I think I've already got blacksmith here as well. Just as I get housed again, it will happen a lot. And over here we do make a stable. I don't know if I ever create a unit out of that stable this entire game, but it's there. Should we need it? I might need it for some upgrades though. Okay, so we have the first event there, which is our scouts meeting, and he's going to win the scout war. Let's just go back to normal speed. But I've already got a few spearmen that I'm creating anyway, just because it's kind of going to be my strategy. And so we can deal with that easily and just keep our starting scouts safe here, just in case we want to scout anywhere later. So I think it makes Blumber making another bit of a blunder there by coming back in with that scout, because you don't, like I say, the spearmen are hard counter to the scout, so you don't really want to be attacking spearmen with a scout, especially when you're outnumbered. But yeah, so I decided at this point in the game, let's go forward a little bit. We've got, this is what I can see. I know that he's got stables up here, so I think, well, why not try and cut off the reinforcements as they come. I'm being a bit hesitant about it. Maybe I've just noticed that I'm housed, so I've gone back to build some houses somewhere. Yep, here on the front. So we're going to make a house wall here. So, should have done one closer to home before I started that, just because, you know, the time it took to a villager to get over there to make the house wall's not great. So you see, I just decided to camp outside of the stables here, and what's really important in this kind of situation is you don't want to grab all your units and click to attack the building. It's much better to leave your units near a building, so they will attack the building because it's an enemy building, but if any units come out of any buildings or any units pass by, they'll opt to fight the units before carrying on attacking the building if they're alive after fighting the units. If you gather them all up and click them onto fighting a building, it doesn't matter what starts attacking them, they will carry on attacking that building until you tell them to do something different. So it's always good not to click to attack buildings, but to just stand nearby. And like I say, they'll attack the building anyway automatically. But yeah, so while this is going on, I can kind of focus on a little bit more on getting my economy sorted, I guess. Still building this house wall here because I've sent some villagers out to be lumberjacks over here. Quite a lot of villagers actually, to be on one lumber camp, but anyway. So I want to protect them, so I'm just going to extend my wall by building a few houses here. And you can see Plumbers is already up to castle age. So he's ahead of us in that respect. I mean, we're not far off clicking up to castle age. We just need another 70 gold, and I think we should have all the buildings that we need to go up, but just not the gold yet. Far and away enough food though, and probably too much wood. Should probably have considered building a market so that I could sell some wood and go up to castle sooner. So I should be clicking up now. Let's see if I have. But maybe I haven't noticed that I've got the resources to do it yet. Okay. I've noticed this weird bug. This might be because I've reverted back to an old patch so that I can watch this game. If you look at these units here, half of them are popping out in and out of existence. Having existential crisis over here next to the stables. Don't know what's going on. The same thing's happening over here as well. Some of these units popping in and out of existence. Never seen anything like it. Here today, gone tomorrow. But yeah, so that's the basic setup. We're going to see me making a lot of trash units, and we're going to be guessing out as to what our opponent's going to do here. So what our opponent could be doing, because he's already in the castle age, we're only researching it now. So his military is going to be stronger than ours. So what he could have been doing is setting these production buildings to garrison, like within the building when the units were produced, and build up a force that could easily take out the units that I have, because, like I say, they'll be stronger being in the next stage up. So maybe there's quite a few pikemen, or should I say spearmen here, so he probably doesn't want to create too many mounted units, but he does also have the barracks, so maybe his own spearmen and some knights would probably do the trick. Could even do, well, you don't really want to do militia because you'd really want them to be upgraded, and then that's just a waste of resources because you're not going to use them later on. So now we're in the castle age as well. I decided to drop a siege workshop here. So I think I'm thinking about clearing up these buildings and then moving into his base if I can. So he's on 3 town centres already. I think I'm slow to town centre in this game. I've still just got the 1. We're not doing too well on the economy front really. I should be, look, if you look at all the wood that I've got there, should be at least considering another town centre, and expanding the farming economy, so that because my food income's not great. I like how kind of symmetrical all his farms are. But you see, he's got potential here to have food economy all the way across his base. Very well protected by town centres. And yeah, us not so much. We're a little bit kind of, it looks a bit more cramped. We've got a lot more buildings kind of like dotted in and around. And still just the 1 town centre, which is not good at all. But we have just made a monastery. And I don't think our opponent is doing the same. No, not by the looks of things. So this could give us quite an advantage if we're first to go out and try and collect all the relics. See, when you so you create monks to collect relics, and when they bring them back to the monastery, you can garrison the relics inside the monastery, and then the relics will produce like a trickle of gold over time. So the more relics you have, the bigger kind of a gold advantage that you have, which is obviously useful for upgrades and creating strong units and things of that nature. So yeah, we created a couple of siege rams here just to kind of mop up these buildings and then try and push into his base. But unbeknownst to me, he's building stables in the back of his base here. And so very soon he's going to be flooding units out of these stables, I would imagine, to counteract what I'm doing here. Which, to be honest, you don't need that many units to counteract what I'm doing here, because this is just the kind of the force that I had when I started. Plus a couple of siege... I think they're just battering rams, sorry, not siege rams. Siege rams, I think, is the next upgrade up. So he's going to build a castle next to where I'm trying to break in here and start to repair the gate. Obviously it doesn't want me breaking into his base and messing with his lovely economy that is so very nice and organised. Loving it. And then the castle fire is going to mean that I'm going to have to back away here. Because these units will just get absolutely destroyed by the castle fire. And there's no point me trying to ram the castle down when he's got a bunch of knights right next to it, because they'll just take the rams out really quickly. So it's not like me to have an offensive position early on, but I think it's about to get turned on its head, because the units he's creating here are a lot stronger than anything I've got. And I'm not really keeping up with product. I do have stuff in my queue, to be fair. So I am producing, but it's only out of 2 barracks and 1 archery range, so it's not going to be very quick. So that's a problem. But these, every time you hear that noise, that's me picking up a relic. Same noise if I click on the relic. And so we've got, how many relics have we got? So we've got 2 in there. We're collecting a 3rd, so there's just this one and this one left on the map. So it looks like we're going to mop up all the relics. Like I say, this game was in October last year, so I don't really remember it too well. But yeah, so that's relic number 4. So once this one's so we've already got this chap on his, we've got 3 monks out collecting relics, so I must have prioritised it quite a lot. And as you can see, his mounted units have come out here, and I will definitely expect him to clear up everything that I've got here. Tower's not really going to do much to the units that he's got there. Really, I should have garrisoned a few of them in there to make the tower more effective. If you garrison units in a tower or a castle or a town centre, then they'll fire more arrows. Whereas an empty tower against these mounted units is a little bit pathetic. And plus, if you have units that are attacking at the base of a tower or castle, unless you get a certain upgrade later on, then they can't get hit by the arrows in the tower. So yeah, as you can see, he's got a much stronger army than we do. So he's got a mixture of knights and I think it Tarkans. Tarkans, unique unit to Huns. So they do what? They do 8 damage, and they've got 1 regular armor, 1 pierce armor. I think that's how it works. I'm not too sure. But yeah, they're a pretty sick unit. And like I said, much better than anything we've got. So I'm starting to mass a bit of a trash army down here, building some more production buildings, so we'll be able to produce faster. And we've just pulled all of these villagers off that gold. We're going to resituate them to this gold, which is interesting when there's still 500 gold left there, or 400. And we're going to start building the castle here, because I knew, or I must have known, that this force was coming. So I need to protect our base a bit, because we are a little bit exposed. We do have now upgraded to pikemen. We were spearmen before. So they're going to, they do counter these mounted units quite well. They're obviously not as strong as those units, but they will. A large number of them will do well against them. Because these cost, I'm getting discounted pikemen and elite skirmishers at this point, so it's very cheap for me to make. It's only food and wood. As you can see, we've got a lot of gold in the bank because of that, and it's allowed us to get up to the Imperial Age as well. You see our opponent's still in Castle Age, but our opponent does have the score lead, maybe because of the military that he's produced and the fact that he's taken out but we've taken out some of his buildings actually as well. So in generally he's just ahead. He's ahead in economy as well. I haven't really grown my economy much, at all. We're still on the same kind of farming eco as about 20 minutes ago. And if you look over here, like almost his whole base is filled with farms by now. So definitely, it's looking good for Blumbers at the moment. Score lead, better economy, stronger units, and I'm just a bit slow to the action. And if we go back to my base now, he's broken in. He's got through the stone gate there, and he's going to get a few villager kills. Yeah, another one goes down there. So it's 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4, 5 even. We have garrisoned enough, and the castle's doing some work there for us as well. But the halberdiers and I think I've produced a few cataphracts as well. So the cataphracts are the Byzantine special unique unit, and they're very strong cavalry unit. But I'm not really teched into the cavalry side of things at all. So what I've only got one attack upgrade, and that's it. And that's probably because I've got the infantry attack upgrade for the pikemen. But what we can do now, because we've got all these skirmishers, or elite skirmishers should I say, is that was a bit of a blunder opening the gate there, is we can do a fair bit of damage to any incoming Tarkans before they get here. So he's quite, I think it was quite wise to back up there, but then he decides to go in anyway. So the pikemen are going to do really well against a small number of Tarkans like that. And yeah, I think feeling a bit better about our ability to defend from such an attack. And that's the thing really with a trash unit spam. They create so much faster than stronger units generally that it's quite easy to get a critical mass going. So here, I don't think I can see this castle. No, I can't see him building that castle, so I don't know that's going on. Unless... So let's see, is there any point in time where we spot it? Or do we only spot it when it's built? The tension is killing me. Ooh, I don't like that way of moving. Yeah. Okay, maybe we see it now? Yeah, so we see the castle. Or maybe I moved and then looked somewhere else, because only these two have come to attack the villagers, which are... really... I would hope that if I would have seen that castle, I would have sent all of my army here to take out the villagers, because otherwise this castle is going to go up. 2 villagers left. So yeah, the castle goes up. So that was unnecessary, making life unnecessarily hard for myself there. Really should have noticed that and sent this entire force to just clear up any villagers building the castle. It's quite ballsy of him to do that without any military to protect the villagers. And that sound means I've just built a university somewhere. There we go, at the back. So I'm now in the Imperial Age. I'm looking to upgrade my units as much as I can. I don't know if we go for elite cataphract in this game. It's quite an expensive upgrade, and I'm not sure that I make a lot of them either. So we'll see. So what's going on over this side? So again, his economy is looking very good, very balanced. He's got another TC up here, and could maybe do with a lumber camp there, but aside from that, all economy-wise, he's looking very good, and he's starting to build up production units here in the north. And there we go. So the Tarkans the Tarkans are on the way. The Tarkans are coming. You see, I rather pleasingly split my units up there as he advances to Imperial Age. And where is this going on? Oh, I think at the top of the map. Yeah, so he's going to clear out these buildings here. This is going to be a problem for me because as he destroys houses here, my population limit is going to go down, so that's not good for me. And if you remember, he's Huns, so he doesn't have to build houses. He's always going to be at 200. So I'm going to have to notice that at some point and build some houses. So we make a few trebuchets out of the castle, and we can take this castle down. Like I say, it was a bit strange they didn't have any force with the castle to be able to protect it from such things as being trebucheted down. So I imagine he's going to send something at some point. It's not even... Maybe he's going to make a cup of tea or something, I don't know. So castle goes down. And yeah, all looking okay. Taking the score lead. I don't know how we've taken the score lead, because our economy is still not great. We've got our second TC, very late second TC over here, with a few farms, but nothing really. I'm struggling to see why we've jumped so high in the score, but anyway. So let's see what happens here. We've got these Tarkans over there. I probably can't see anything about that. Don't even know that he's got loads of stables up there, just the 3 there. So now it looks like I've decided to push out on this right side and maybe secure the stone and the gold over here. Odd that I would bring the trebuchets so early. Don't know what I'm trying to achieve with those. But yes, so interesting. So he's going to come over here with the villagers. He won't know that's castle's there until he starts putting this mining camp down. And oh no, that's not what you want to see when you put a mining camp down. Say goodbye to the gold miners. And I would imagine this force is going to move towards us now. Yep, okay, here we go. So, now the shoe's on the other foot. He knows that there's a castle going up here. That was such a stupid thing of me to do. But we do have plenty of these halberdiers now. Yeah, plenty of halberdiers over here. These are elite Tarkans now as well, so so the castle goes up, garrison the villagers, keep them safe. Miraculously, the trebuchets are still up. That's incredible. He must not have gone for a straight attack on the trebuchets. Maybe he tried to attack the units first. I mean, it's wise because if you can take out the army, then you can take out the trebuchets as well. But you are under castle fire, and also I don't know. All depends. It all depends. Okay, so that went quite well for us. That was the majority of his Tarkans. He's got a few more producing over here, and we've got some light cav there as well. So I assume he's going to go hussar. His farming eco is getting pretty ridiculous. So yeah, here come the hussar. So hussar are another trash unit. They only take food to produce, but they're probably they're the strongest unit in the light cavalry line. But our halberdiers should wreck the hussar. And the halberdiers have also got protection from, like, I think pretty much fully upgraded Byzantine elite skirm, so, you know, I'm feeling quite happy about our composition now. We've able to got to the point where we're able to pretty much stay close enough to 200 prop that I'm happy about where we are. I don't know why we're not using these cataphracts in this battle. They would be very helpful. But yeah, did we get all the... Yeah, we got all the relics. So that's massive. That's absolutely huge. That's gonna pretty much gonna mean that he's gonna have to create more Hussar than he would have wanted to, and probably fewer Tarkans, which is very good for us. But again, look at this farming eco. I've been impressed with Lumber's skills when it comes to managing his economy. Although, to be fair, we haven't been able to raid yet this game, so it's been untouched. But all the same, he's got a good balanced economy. Obviously, knows what he's doing in terms of getting to the unit composition that he wants. The only thing is, he keeps kind of sending in not too many Hussars at the same time. I think he probably wants to send a bunch at once to try and outnumber us. But it's going to be tricky because the halberdiers and the elite skirmishers are so cheap for us in comparison. So we should be able to spam those all day. Although we are looking a bit low on the food count, which is probably due to a lack of farming eco over here. We're still only on 2 TCs. A bit poor, really. I would have expected maybe to TC out here, so we could take this gold and take the wood. But I mean, it's really easy to say stuff after the fact when you're looking at the game. It's super different when you're playing. Like when you're concentrating on this fight and concentrating on these units over here. We've got a new threat now because he started putting in elite skirm as well. Although ours are cheaper, so we'll and I think ours are more upgraded because we've definitely got chemistry because you see the fire on the arrows that comes from having the chemistry upgrade, which is yeah. So, but that also tells me that we've got a lot more upgrades as well, because I've been focused on that line of upgrades, whereas he's probably been focused on cavalry upgrades, I imagine. Although he's only got 7+1 on the Hussar, I would expect him to have more cavalry attack upgrades than that. Interesting. So at this point it looks like kind of we're shredding in all of these fights. He's got a lot of production buildings. What do his resources look like at this point? I mean, we're at full population here, and he's just cracking 130. Wow, all that farming eco, and he was at like 400 food then after creating. Wow. But he's definitely got a better economy than we do. It's just interesting. I think it might just be down to the upgrades, and maybe he doesn't have many upgrades. So he's only got +1 attack, which I'm sure means he's only got the first attack upgrade on the cavalry, so none of the armor. And if you look how fast they go down to these elite skirm, it's not surprising. And he's sending maybe 5 or 6 in at a time. I mean, maybe he's just in desperation mode at the moment because he was running out of food. Maybe he was running out of food because he's gone for Cavalier. Maybe is he trying to get to Paladin? I don't even know. Can you get Paladin with Huns? I assume so if he's going for Cavalier. Because if you've already got Tarkans, why would you switch to Cavalier if you couldn't get Paladin? I don't know. So we're going to start taking out these buildings now, and the production buildings, which should slowly but surely help with... oh, and he's got in over here with his Tarkans. Which is a good move. If ever you feel like you're kind of stuck in a spot, or the enemy's starting to get the better of you, or anything, it feels like you're under threat in any way, shape or form, it's always good to try and raid the opponent's economy, because killing villagers here is going to, apart from distract me from what's going on over there, it's probably going to cause me to pull some units away from the attacking out. Yep, look, we've got units all the way over here to try and deal with this. Probably too many units, but that's exactly what you'd be wanting with a raid. So it means he can kind of start to push back in the main area of battle, or in theory anyway, and also hurt my economy in the process. So it's going to be harder for me to keep my production queues going, even though we've still got quite a lot. I think we've got some production buildings over here now as well, some more barracks. You see, I've been quite conservative with how many production buildings I've got though. If you compare to Lumbers, he's got a ton of production buildings, and if you look, it just means you can create units so much faster than we can. But it must just be due to the upgrades that we're able to take them out super quick. In fairness, that his elite scans have got a few upgrades. I would have expected his cavalry to have the most though, because that seems to be what he's focused on so far. So we've cleaned this up now, and we're going to start trying to get our economy back to where it was, which was never super impressive or anything, but it was. But it's done the job so far. We're still at about 200 population. We're taking out this town centre that he had here, and we're probably going to be looking to take out the castle next. Again, carrying on with the production buildings going down. Maybe it would have been a good idea to switch to the archery ranges, because he don't seem to be producing cavalry anymore, unless he's producing cavalry in the back of his base. Still that one cavalier who's gonna go on an epic quest to rally the Huns and bring back the game, or at least maybe the hope. We broke through the wall. We're gonna lose these trebuchets by the looks of things. Oh, he stays alive. Fantastic. But we've got another couple waiting anyway, and yeah, it looks like we're gonna try and take out the castle now. And we've got into his base there. I'm sure at some point I'm going to send these guys into raid, I would have thought. Castle's about to go down, and Blumbers calls the GG. Well played, Blumbers. It's a good game. I felt like when I seem to remember when I was playing it, I felt like it was really close. I mean, in the end, the score difference was quite high. But I never felt like I was really in control until maybe right at that last point when I was taking these production buildings out. Because at that point it became obvious that for whatever reason he wasn't able to keep up with producing enough units. I think it did come down. Oh look, we've got the barracks over here as well. I think it must just come down to a lack of upgrades on the units, and the fact that for the majority of the game he was going for cavalry, and one of my half of my army was a hard counter to his cavalry. So yeah, but it just shows you, like, I mean, I had what, 3 barracks here, 4 barracks here, and 3 archery ranges, and they were the only production buildings I had for the main bulk of my force. and then there was a scattering of let's see, did I get the elite upgrade? Nope, I never got the elite upgrade. Scattering of cataphracts, and we ended the game there with 7,000 odd gold. So we barely even spent gold in that game, apart from just get the blacksmith upgrades and university upgrades for the trash units. I must have been considering getting the elite upgrade, but it's a lot of food and a lot of gold. So maybe I was concerned about keeping some food in the bank or maybe I just got carried away with fighting and forgot about it. That's probably more likely. But yeah, good game, Blumbers. It was it felt like it kind of went a bit one way and then a bit the other. Let's have a look at the stats. So general score, kind of take all the points there, and then the kill death ratio is quite, so I think if he'd have waited and like kind of grouped his forces more before coming in, because I was just kind of camping out in the same spot near the castle. He wasn't really kind of forcing me to move from that spot whatsoever. So it was a relatively safe spot, and he was getting bottlenecked in between the tree lines and his base walls, which made things. It was like a line of enemies coming at you when you've got a load of ranged units as well. So yeah, the kill death ratio says a lot. Buildings raised says a lot, but then again, he did have a lot more buildings in the first place, which I would guess you count as a win to him. And if you look there, largest army 157. That must have been when he was killing my villagers. So if we go to just go ahead to the timeline here, when he raided, we would have had quite a big drastic drop in villagers. So I don't know, was that here or maybe here, or it was some point kind of close to the end. So, but as he was killing villagers, which is, like I was explaining, you do want to do damage to your opponent's economy whenever you get the chance, because that stops them producing. But at that stage in the game, the only effect that it really had was giving me more population space for their army. And so as he was killing villagers, my army was getting bigger because I still had units in the queue, and then it kind of snowballed from there, and it just turned into one of my rare victories. Don't get them very often. Maybe one in 4 games is a victory, maybe something like that. And then if you see this kind of, it tends to happen quite a lot with zigzag, where one person gets. So I got feudal age first, he got castle age first, I got imperial age first. And it makes a lot of sense, because if, say for example, if I go up early here, if I get to the feudal age early, then maybe I don't have as good as an economy to be able to get up to castle age fast enough. So maybe I've gone a little bit earlier for what I should have done, or maybe he's gone a little bit later but then gone up to castle age much quicker because he had a better economy, and vice versa, and this the opposite for getting to imperial from castle there, because he was like five minutes ahead of me getting to castle, and I was like nine minutes ahead getting to imperial. So it kind of it increases exponentially the time and resources needed to get from one age to the next. Percentage of the map explored exactly the same. I did have a fair bit more research done, so 7 extra techs. It's hard to tell exactly where people are putting their research, but that's interesting. So I had 7 more bits of research, but only 1% more of total research percent. Interesting. Maybe Huns are quite restricted in what they can research. Economy. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So this is if we go back to where was it? Society. Yeah, let's have a look at this first, because his villager high was just about double mine. So there was at one point where he had twice as many villagers that I did, and looking at the economy stats there, that certainly shows like double the amount of food. About what was it? 11,000 more wood. We did have a tiny bit more stone, 3 more stone, and not a massive amount more gold, a couple of thousand. But if you remember, we finished with, what was it, 7, 8, 9,000 gold, something like that. But if we look at our relic gold, 5,400. So that was gold that we got for doing nothing. Just collecting those, being first to collect those relics at the start. So that helps out enormously. Same amount of castles. And back to the timeline, yeah. So, like I say, super hyped for Hidden Cup coming up. I'm gonna, as this is rendering, I'll probably be watching some more of the qualifiers from today. And yeah, if you have the time, I would definitely recommend checking it out. It's I don't know. There's something about competitive Age of Empires to me that the community around it is fantastic. All the commentators and casters and people involved all seem like really nice, decent people, and the players, there's so much talent in the player base. It's insane. Like if you watch any of the pros stream their gameplay, it's unbelievable the amount of things that they're doing at once. Managing economy whilst like controlling the units to the really finest degrees, like when they're fighting, like dodging arrows and all this kind of stuff, and it really does get to an insane level. And then you've got this, with Hidden Cup, you've got this added element of nobody knows who's who, and everyone's trying to guess, and you can kind of you really feel like, after you've been watching some of the pros play for a while, you really feel like you've got a number on how they play. But then Hidden Cup it does weird things to your brain. You start thinking, oh, that's got to be that person because that person does this all the time or whatever, and you convince yourself, and 99% of the time you're completely wrong about who's who. You might get the odd person who's very obvious, but then that could be someone using that person's strategies to throw people off. So it's a lot of fun. So I really recommend getting into it if you like strategy games at all. If you got to this point in this video, then definitely you check it out for sure, 100%. So like I say, it'll start on the 18th of March this month, which I believe is a Thursday, and it'll be streaming all the way through till that's the Sunday, which will be the 21st, I believe. I've already booked time off work. It's going to be epic, and I'm not going to be making any videos in that time, I don't think, so whatever. But yeah, seriously, check it out. It's the guy who'll be streaming it is called T90. So if you if you get onto Twitch and search for T90 official, you'll see it'll be the guy with thousands of people in an Age of Empires tournament room. Great stuff. So thanks ever so much for joining us as ever, and I shall see you all in the next step. All right, bye.